I'm like, what? These are stuff that I hear people that they get them in their 60s, 20s and 30s. Like, what are we talking about?
The shingles in your 20s is crazy work, okay? Hi, favorite family. Welcome back. If you're here for the first time, my name is Clarice, and I'm the owner of Favorite Stationery. So we have a special guest back today, my husband, Michael.
Hello.
I just love doing these videos with you.
Close the doors.
So, okay. So we're excited to do this new series called
We're Just Beginning.
We're Just Beginning. So we're just here to express all of the gratitude that we have when we look back and realize we have come through a mighty lot, and a lot in a short time. So in this series, we're going to reflect on our transformation. So we've been together forever in a day. However, we've made dramatic change within the past 5 years. And we've done that with God. So we're just going to share our journey, the highs and the lows, and we're just going to try to explain how God has brought us peace.
And hopefully give some encouragement.
Yeah. And so we went through and we've reflected and we've titled our seasons of the past 5 years. So we're going to begin in 2020. Okay.
Yeah, we've been married for 20 years, but our walk with Christ, when we look back, has started. You know, I think he's always been with us, but our diving into following Christ was a set of events that led to it.
Okay. Okay. So we call 2020 the good season. And it's kind of strange because y'all all know what happened in 2020. Mm-hmm. But for us, we had a good experience.
That year when we all had to shelter in place was actually a blessing for our family because we got to be around each other a lot more. We got to experience our children, school, like actually, you know, teaching them in school and doing everything virtual over the computer, me being able to work from home. So it was, listen, not having to get up and go to work, not having to putting basketball shorts on and a shirt, a button down, and getting on Zoom. Like that was, listen, saved me some gas money. So yeah, it wasn't, through all the bad that it was actually fairly good.
Mm-hmm. So giving y'all a few more details, around that time I was doing my home daycare. So I was pretty much set up already at home to, you know, take in my kids for virtual school. We just got creative in that season. Do you remember those separators, those boards that we had? We decorated the boards to put around their computer. Yeah. But yeah, we had so much fun doing that. The kids were comfortable with learning from home. It was just like a really creative season. I remember making sanitizer and the wipes that I was making, like Clorox type wipes.
Yeah, everything was hard to find.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers Tissue Gate. For some reason, tissue was...
We were all over Memphis trying to find some tissue.
We went some places looking for some tissue.
Yes, we did. Yeah, and I just remember like making the wipes and like they molded real quick because I didn't know what I was doing. But we were doing the things. I was cleaning out stuff. You remember the drawer that I reorganized? It's like our junk drawer. And I reorganized. It's a mess now, but anyways. But yeah, I was finding some stuff to do. Like I enjoyed the kids being home. We set up your office area in the front and I enjoyed you being home. You stayed out my way. I stayed out yours. Like nothing really changed for me. We had a perfect flow.
You weren't doing the home daycare at that point though.
Yes, I was doing it off and on because of what was going on. Remember, sometimes they would come and sometimes they wouldn't because we didn't know what was going on. But yeah, sometimes I had even more kids here, but I had it on lock. I had my schedule going with the daycare, and my older kids had their stuff set off to the side, and you know, Jacob was smaller then, so he was already at home with me. But and you were good. Like, you enjoyed being home.
I did.
Were you sad to have to go back?
Very much.
And for me, this was a time where with my home daycare, I had just got into a groove of actually being able to tolerate my work and what I did. And I look back on things and I see where I could have been much more grateful for the situation that I was in. But my mindset at the time was like feeling underpaid and unappreciated. And so, not by you, by the way. But yeah, like I wasn't, my heart was not in it. However, I was just coming into my season of being able to tolerate my work. Like, you remember when I used to decorate this window, and I would, like, each month I would put different things in there. I had actually started to enjoy my home daycare, but it was a short season. So although things definitely were not perfect at all, like, we were making the best of things. We were in a groove, we had balance, and it was somewhat of a season of rest for us. And we appreciate that, because what was to come, so 2021, I call that our transition season. So basically at this point, the kids were done with virtual school. I think Aaliyah had graduated from the 8th grade. And what were we calling the graduations? Was it a drive-by graduation? But yeah, like, we didn't get to go in a building or anything. She had her 8th grade graduation outside. Basically, it was a drive-through celebration. We were making the best of things that year. We were finishing up virtual school. The kids had things to do in school. We were participating. Aaliyah was a cheerleader that year, and although they didn't have games to go to and stuff like that, you remember that, but she would get to go to the school and practice, so they gave her a little relief from being home all the time.
I remember that.
Yeah. And then you remember when you went and picked up Blue.
Did.
Tell us about that.
That little bitty dog.
Yeah.
I don't know what he is. I think he's a peekapoo.
Yeah, he's a peekapoo. Yeah.
He's a sweet little dog.
He is. He's our daughter's dog.
Yeah, hers more than ours.
Yeah.
He's a family dog, but he likes her.
Yeah, he don't really fool with. He only fooled with us when he got to. But yeah, he is her dog, and we love him. It was
part of a Christmas present and birthday present for the kids. They wanted.
Oh yeah, because you got him around Mason's. We remember it was around Mason's birthday that year.
Somewhere in November.
His birthday is in November, so yeah. And he was just born. We got him a little baby. Yeah, and he immediately attached to Aaliyah. So good times, and also not so good times. So that was also the year, at the top of the year, I lost my grandfather. And my grandfather, he was just a good man.
He was. He was a kind soul.
Yeah, he really was. And nobody's perfect or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but yeah, he was a pastor. I know I shared with y'all a couple of weeks ago a song that he used to sing all the time. So it's just a lot of things that, you know, I go back and I remember now, and I'm like, yeah, that was a great experience to have been his granddaughter, and I miss him till this day. Yeah,
I remember the last conversation I had with him. Because he was a pastor all the time, I had never seen him drink before. And I was like, have you ever drank beer? And he said, yeah, I used to drink beer back in the day. And I was like, it's crazy. We've never had
I couldn't believe it.
So, I don't think he ever drank, but I had never seen him. He was about as close to God that I could imagine.
Yeah, he really was. He was sweet, but he also was like a no nonsense type person, especially with what he believed in. So it was, yeah, he was a good grandfather.
And during that time, you didn't put something on there, but when she was home daycaring, or had the home daycare, one of the ladies that had the home daycare was pregnant, and they lost their child during that time.
Yeah.
And that was during the pandemic, so I remember going to that funeral.
Yeah.
And how sad that was.
It's a lot of stuff that has happened, a lot. Yeah. And they have had their rainbow baby, and so yeah, it's a lot. So at this point, I was in school. I had just started school back again. I had started therapy, and I had started to do the inner work. I just felt a need to do it, and so I did it. Just starting out though.
Yeah, and at that time, I didn't. I wasn't ready for that. I was like, man, I'm pretty good.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So the lesson is to do the work.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, sometimes we're forced to it. Yeah. Sometimes you think you're good until you're not.
Yeah. So. Yeah, because you were forced to do the work.
Like, I think I had even went to therapy. No, I think my first time going to therapy was down the road. So.
Yeah. What were you? I think you're probably thinking about couples therapy.
No, I'm not thinking about. I was thinking about my own personal therapy, but I think that was down the road because of what was going on. Okay. Well, the 2022 was the hardship season, and so my parents had 2 kids, my older sister and myself. And obviously, we had all made it through that time. Everybody was fine, and my sister passed away. And she's only 2 years older than me, and this was in her 30s. And she had just had my nephew, and I remember going to her house the week after. So during this time, you couldn't go to the hospital. They weren't letting visitors in the hospital. So she had my nephew, and none of us could go see him because they weren't allowing people in the hospital. And I remember she came back home, and I went and saw her and went and met my nephew for the first time. And she had some breathing problems at the time, and I thought it was strange because she said that they had told her that water was on her lungs. And I was like, at this point, like, all right, like, make sure she's like, yeah, I got a doctor's appointment. The next day I'm going to the doctor's appointment. Long story short, I get a call from the guy she was with at times, and he's just kind of in a panic. And my sister's 38 at this time, and he's just like, man, she was having a hard time breathing, so we called an ambulance. They picked her up, and it was like, I'm following the ambulance in my car to the hospital, and all of a sudden the ambulance turns on their lights and just takes off. And at that point, he was in a panic, and he told me this after he had gotten to the hospital and found out what had happened. So they basically lost her pulse in the in the ambulance, and had to revive her. And they said she had lost oxygen for 8-9 minutes, 12 minutes, something like that. And they eventually got her back, but the damage was done. She spent about a week in the hospital and basically just pronounced her brain dead. And this was just out of nowhere. Just absolutely out of nowhere. She was, she wasn't the best health-wise, but she wasn't the worst health-wise. She wasn't someone that I would have thought that at 38 years old I would have lost. I know that's a geriatric pregnancy, but at the same time, this was her 3rd child, and when that happened, I remember sitting there, and it went down there for me. Like, I couldn't, to have your only sibling and your older sibling. So you're sitting there and you're just like, out of the 2 of us, even though I was the boy, I always looked up to her because she was so influential. And my sister Stephanie, she was just able to always do things without being scared, try new things, go new places. And that's so polar opposite for me because I'm more calculated I don't know. Yeah. And she was a free spirit to always try things. And that time just
She was creative.
yeah.
Her baking.
It reminds me a lot of my daughter. She is just she's gonna think the way she's gonna think. She's gonna do what she wants to do, and regardless if you like it.
Child.
Yes. Sometimes it might frustrate you, but you know, she was who she was without any reservations.
Yeah.
And to lose her in that time, you know, you're thinking she had just had a baby. She's been at home for a week. So like what's really like clearly everything has gone fine.
It was quite a week.
It was about a week. It was about a week. And you know, you're just like, all right, everything is got to be fine at this point. And it's just like, and she's telling me, well, you know, my doctor said it's normal to have a little water on your lungs, but I got an appointment tomorrow. I was like, all right, like make sure you get it done. And to then get that call.
Yeah.
Like I remember sitting there, you know, we're still working from home at this point. And I remember sitting there and I'm like, all right, like I'm on the phone with the guy she was with, and I'm like, all right, so like tell me what's going, because he's hysterical, crying, and I'm like, all right, is she alive? And you know, he's like, oh, you know, I don't. They got her pulse back, but you know, it was just a wild time.
Yeah.
That was a wild time.
Yeah. And so, unfortunately, well, I guess you can say fortunately, because we've grown from all of this, but it just didn't stop there.
Like it got worse.
Much worse.
Yeah, it got worse.
I won't say much worse because, you know, to lose your sibling, it was just you and her. Yeah. And even if it wasn't just you and her.
Being 2 years apart, we grew up together.
Yeah, y'all grew up together. And that's rough. That's rough. But yeah, it just, from there, it did not stop.
No.
So I guess the next thing that came up was us going through 2020, most of 2021, and
masked up.
I was not playing. I was not playing. We had all of the protection gear, okay? But yeah, and we were good those almost the first 2 years. And then here we come up out the blue with
and we catch it. I don't know from where, but
now gratefully we did not have to go to the hospital. None of us. Now we all caught it on down to the baby. Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember having any symptoms with mine.
I remember my back hurting so bad. I was in so much pain. My back. I remember that. But I think we got through it fairly easy for what it was. Like there was no hospitalization or anything like that. So we were good. So we went through that. And then right around that time is when, I'm not going to get into this, but it's when I started noticing behavior with a particular family member that I grew up with. So we are not talking to this day. Just behavior, just strange behavior. So, you know, that going on to the side, and it was and is still hurtful to an extent. Because again, you grow up with someone and you don't have an issue with them, but you come to the realization that they have an issue with you. And for no reason. So that was taking an emotional toll too. And so, okay. And so we keep going, you know, we're still living this life. We're making the best of what is. You remember when we celebrated your sister, releasing the balloons and just trying to make the best out of.
My parents was, you know, give them a little grace because they had just lost a child, you know, their first child, but they
did not take it well.
Yeah, they weren't in the right headspace at all. So I kind of had to navigate that on my own and be a lot of their backbone during that process.
Although you had lost. Yeah. And not only did you lose your sister.
Yeah. So next, about 6 months later.
It was 8.
Okay, 8 months later. my closest friend, and
Only friend?
really the only guy that I dealt with at that time. Like outside of my house, I dealt with this friend and my sister, with nobody else.
Yeah.
Boom, he passes away. Get a call from his sister in the middle of the night. Now he had went into the hospital.
She found him.
Yeah, like they had found him passed out. Now, my guy Rashad he was an offensive lineman in college, so he was a fairly big guy, about 6'4", 6'5", big guy. They found him passed out in his bathroom at his house, took him to the hospital. I remember I went to see him in ICU, and I remember standing outside, and his parents, his dad was there. I never really had spoken to his dad before. His dad is, like a lot of fathers, just very reserved, doesn't really show much emotion. So, like we respected him and didn't say much to him. But I remember getting on an knee and praying for him, and praying with, his sister was sitting next to her, like, and me and my boy and his sister, like him and his sister were very close. So when he would come around, she would come around and hang out with us, and it was, they were just really, really good people. But long story short, I went to see him in the ICU, and I just had this weird feeling, and it was kind of the same feeling I had with my sister when she was in the ICU. And I remember coming home, and it didn't feel right. I remember telling my parents at the time, because they were asking, they were trying to look after me and ask me how it was going, because that was when my sister passed away, he was the only one there as a friend for me. Yeah. And I remember
he spent the day with you.
Spent all day with me that day.
At her funeral. Yeah.
Yeah, just being there for me and showing love. And I remember speaking to my mother and saying, like, seeing him in the hospital felt a lot like seeing my sister Stephanie in the hospital. And it didn't sit right with me. And I guess a day or two later, his sister calls me. This is 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, something like that, and she's just hysterical. And she's like, Michael, he's gone. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's gone. And he was younger than her. He was 34. He passed away, and it's just like this, I done been through this whole 2020, 2021. Everybody is passing away at this time because of what is happening. I get into 2022 and lose the 2 closest people to me outside of my wife and my children that wasn't part of this. It had nothing to do with this.
With the actual.
Yeah, neither one of them passed because of this. And I'm just like, all right, like, what's going on?
Yeah, I was kind of in disbelief myself. I just remember thinking, I was like, he gonna be okay, because ain't no way. Like, we just lost his sister. God, don't do this. Ain't no way you gonna let this happen. Like, he's gonna get up from this bed and walk.
Yeah, and he was a godfather to our children. Yeah. Like, this was a man that I just wholeheartedly trusted.
Yeah.
Like, he would watch our children and,
take them places.
Yeah, take them to the movies, do things with, like, he was just a great dude.
Yeah.
And to lose those 2 people at that time, it sent me in a spiral.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that 2-3 months later, my mom tells me that she's got breast cancer.
I forgot about that. How did I forget about that?
God willing, she has beat it. She has gotten past it, and
had the surgery.
Yeah, and she is past that, but. To have those 2 things happen, then find out your mother has got breast cancer, it's just like, all right, man, like what's going on?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? At no point did I ever think, why me? But I'm just like, what is going on? Like, we've seen people that were passing from this situation, and none of this is affecting.
We went through that untouched.
None of this. And then to just at this point, I'm 34, 35, and I done lost a sister at 38, a friend at 34, and like, this ain't right.
Yeah. And I really hate that for you, because the type of friend he was to you, I've told you that people don't experience that.
I've been searching for it since.
And you ain't what I tell you.
just searching for a friendship with another,
other than God,
right? With another man that does not. We are not in competition.
Ain't on no hate stuff. Yeah,
we are. It is all about. I celebrate your wins. You celebrate my wins. When you're at a loss, I'm at a loss. When you need, I need, and like that was.
He was that.
Yeah,
he was that for you.
He was just relentless in checking
always
in.
respectful. Yeah,
like he was like so this is a guy that I knew since high school, but during high school we weren't as close. I was much closer with someone else, but when I got married and started having kids, that person no longer wanted to be close. And this gentleman, Rashad, stepped in and was just like, I don't think he was filling a void, but like I remember he had went off to college, played sports, and then when he came back home, like we just kind of connected. We hung out with each other before then, but not like the way that we did life after that. And man,
that was a good season for you in friendship.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, this was the year that we learned how truly fragile life is. Like we had a up close and personal type thing
for sure.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that year contributed a lot to anxiety for me.
I mean, I remember being in the car leaving my the hospital with my sister, and it was one day that we had like a sense of she might come out of this, like she might, and it wasn't anything that the doctors were telling us, because they were just like, it's probably a chance that she never gets back to this. But I just had this hope and I was like, God, I'll be a minister, I'll go to college, and I'll preach just bring her back, and I'll do it all. And it was just a plea that's.
Not a whole minister.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm looking for colleges.
Yeah,
whatever you want, I'll do if you bring her back.
Yeah.
And it was naive of me to think that I could bargain and plead with God.
Yeah.
But at that point in my life, that was about the extent of my relationship with Christ.
Yeah.
It was
I need your help.
Yeah, I need you right now. Come on, come through.
I ain't talked to you really all year, but hey, you remember me? And it's not that like we've always gone to church, but we were, let's just say, lukewarm Christians. Like it was a season that we didn't go to church, and we were, let's say, church hurt. And what was it, about maybe a year we just stayed out, we didn't do nothing. But then we ended up going back, but yeah, we were just, the extent of our Christianity was going to church on Sunday, and that's about it. And remember one time you gave me a hard time even doing that, and it wasn't church, it was small groups. Michael,
real before that, like she wanted to.
That was way back in the day. She
wanted to do small groups, and I was like, man, I'm already going to church, man. What you talking about? Like, I can't go to church and then come home and watch football or something. And she was like, we're gonna go to small groups. And it didn't hit me until she started crying over it.
Yeah, I was
a terrible person at the time.
You weren't terrible.
Thinking back on it, it's terrible to think that your wife wants you to do something a little different, and you won't step out of your norm. And it was all fear on my end. It was fear of doing something like I explained earlier. Like my sister was so free to do something, and I've never been that way. I've always been, all right, add this, subtract this, and this is where we'll get
stuff that you can see.
Yeah. Faith-based wasn't there for me.
Yeah.
It was tangible. It's got to be.
Yeah.
I can see myself doing that.
It's got to make sense.
So that changed my mind, and honestly, going to small groups, I really enjoyed it at the time.
Yeah, we enjoyed it for that season.
It was. Yeah. It was very. Didn't come out of there with like when we left, they was like, goodbye, peace, and I was like, well, dang.
Oh my God.
There was a couple of guys that kept in touch a little bit, but it wasn't what I thought it was initially. And I understand I had some
Oh, we had some growing to do.
Yeah,
Discernment.
there was a lot of stuff that I
baby.
had done that might not have been.
Oh, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, we weren't ready. We weren't ready. Naive. That was back in my open book days.
Yeah.
And
we're going into to small groups and nobody's talking and we saying everything. Now we didn't tell all of our business. Let me be clear with that.
But we told too much.
We were open unlike anybody else.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what y'all talking about? Because excuse me, when you come in there, I think you kind of, for me, when I came in there, when I went to church, our parents were the last one in, first one out. She grew up in a household where
we there all day. Yeah. Lord.
My parents were worried about, all right, where are we going to eat after church? And when I came into that setting, I was like, oh, okay, well, this is like
how it's supposed to be.
You're supposed to come out and tell them, and really give people your life. And I learned, this was
transparent.
This was our 20s. So we were searching for something and didn't necessarily find.
It was good for what it was at that moment. Yeah. Like even the growth from it, but we did move on. Yeah. So now we thought it was hard. Now we're entering our pressing season, and that's 2023. And so I've already come on here and explained the fact that I had an anxiety attack. I can't remember right now what the title of that video was, but if you look, you'll find it. And not only was it that, it was just a bunch of health challenges for me. So I had started school, I was in therapy, but I still wasn't where I needed to be spiritually. And I feel like God allowed me to go through a lot of those health issues to get my attention. So I have really gone through it. Like
you? What?
We don't look like, and praise God, we really don't look like what we go through. People say that we look young. Well, we look younger than 40. Yeah. And it's only God, because we have been through some things health wise. You gonna tell it?
I had shingles in my 20s.
In his 20s, y'all. In his 20s.
And listen, not the healthiest person, but I ain't the worst either.
Right. Because you played football back in the day. You were
I'm shapely. Athletic. I ain't in shape, but I'm shapely. Got gout in my 30s.
Oh, God.
Like, I'm like, what? These are stuff that I hear people that they get them in their 60s. 20s and 30s. Like, what are we talking about?
The shingles in your 20s is crazy work, okay? For me, it was more of, I gradually started gaining weight after, probably a year after I had Jacob. And, weight issues, trying to lose it, then also running into blood pressure issues. And honestly, I think most of that was coming from anxiety. Like, I was really
they told me that's what happened with shingles. It was a lot of stress, and at that time when I got shingles, I was working 3 jobs.
Was it then?
Yeah, I was at FedEx, the airport, and
that was around that time.
Yeah, because I was just. I think it was just stress and worry and anxiety. And, it wasn't.
Yeah, and so.
But that's when I got shingles. We were in country. Aaliyah was a baby.
I can't remember when it was.
I was fairly thin during that time. I got small at one point. Not no more, but.
Babe, why are you like this? It's a lot of this stuff is we've been together and it's been so much to happen that some of it is a blur. But yeah, so you're saying that you were in good shape at that time. Not that you're in bad shape now.
Not good shape. not good shape, but I was in better shape than I am now at 40. And it was just like, it was a lot of stress, you know, when we moved out into our first apartment, like we had a mattress on the floor.
On the floor.
And a TV.
And no support.
Yeah, and we didn't have anything. You know, I was working a lot. She was working. We were trying to figure out how to be new parents. You know, like it was just a lot going on during that time.
Yeah.
You know.
And nobody but God keeping us together.
Nope, because both sides didn't really want it. Both sides. Your parents.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me and you.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what?
Your parents didn't want it. My parents didn't want it. Like, nobody was supportive.
It was like, you know, I got pregnant and you had already proposed to me, but they didn't know it.
Yeah, so we were like slightly engaged.
Yeah.
Like, we were just like
I had a ring.
Had Aaliyah not been here, we were like, we're probably gonna go ahead and try this anyway.
Yeah.
But Aaliyah came and it was just like, all right,
Aaliyah came and it was treated more of, oh, now y'all got a problem. You know, like y'all don't look at what y'all done went and got yourselves into, instead of saying, okay, you know, this is maybe we wouldn't have chose this for you at this moment.
What can we do to help you guys out?
Yeah, how can we? Oh, child, no, we didn't get that.
No, because I think at that time we were wanting to do something different. Her home life and my home life was just like, I don't think this is what we want to do. Yeah, and I think our blessing child.
Conversation, I was like, listen, I ain't gonna stay here, so we gonna try to work this thing, and we did.
God will. It was all God.
Yeah, and so we're not gonna get into the financial part because that's a whole. Lord Jesus, like from every angle, health, finances, losing people. Oh, we have been through it, and we're not going to get into that financial part.
Just know if you're in a relationship and you feel like this is a relationship that God has put together, that God is, the devil is going to try finances, family, friends. Like the devil's going to try everything he can, and it ain't work. You're raggedy.
Okay, so the past, let's say, few years, I know a couple of years for sure, we've had to change up a lot when it comes to our budget and luxuries and now, what's a luxury now?
Going and getting some fast food. What?
Oh my goodness!
Chipotle.
I love Chipotle, y'all. I got a little problem, but yeah, we hadn't been on a family vacation since March of 2023. And to be honest, listen, we always made it work. We never just really had it like that, but we knew how to make it work. But yeah, we took our last family vacation then, and man, I can't wait. I can't wait to get a good break and, not on anxious stuff, like to truly be able to stop and break and enjoy a vacation. That's my dream right now.
Yeah.
So the way that we both got closer to God is we were going through all of this stuff and we just started searching.
Well, I think it was before that, because for me, when the loss of my sister, my closest friend, my mother having cancer, we had just come out of a fairly decent season, and going into that, and it's my thought process is just
deal with it.
Yeah, like it always is. It's like, put your head down, you'll figure it out, and didn't realize that at the time I actually had someone to talk to with Rashad, and when he was no longer there, I don't have that break to be able to, like, hey man, what's going on? And we never really got into, we did, but we didn't always get into personal things. We did in a sense, but it was always nice having that person that you can connect with and that, see something. Like, he was he was very pro marriage. He was very pro relationships.
Because his parents were married.
Yeah, he was just he wanted to see us do well. He really enjoyed us as a family, and that was just a dive into depression. And I remember she told me gave me an ultimatum and said I needed to speak with somebody.
Oh, baby.
I remember going, it was snowing in Memphis that day, and I remember going to speak with this therapist in person, this lady, and I remember getting up after her and be like, well, I don't think I need this no more. And like, it was at the end of the session.
That was another time, right, though?
That was before, because that was the first therapist that I had spoken to on my own.
Okay.
And I remember...
But that was after they passed away? Okay.
She was the first therapist that I spoke to. And I remember telling her everything that was going on. And it's like, oh yeah, like, cool, had my session. I'm healed. Let's go.
Baby, I was so frustrated with you.
Yeah, because I came home, I was like, what you talking about? Like, I done it. I done got it out. It's over. Let's move on. Let's go to the next thing. It was just being stubborn because it takes a lot more.
It's a lot of work.
I was blessed to meet a guy. So her therapist recommended a guy, and just happened to speak with him, and like just automatically clicked with him. He was just such a good person to talk to and to speak with. And you know, I went from, when did that happen? 2023, 3-4 years. 3 years, you know, just talking to him. And I felt like that was good for me because it allowed me to go through what I needed to. Because when I first started going to therapy with him, I remember it was just kind of dumping everything that I had gone through on him. And then I felt like I hit a wall where it was just like,
what is this doing?
Yeah, I got everything out, and there's nothing more. Like, what am I supposed to be doing at this point? And eventually it transitioned into, all right, I get what this is for. Like, my day to day, my week to week, my hour to hour, I can, you know, whatever I'm dealing with, it was a safe space to be able to talk to him. And then to do it it was just a phone call. To be able to do it over the phone in the confines of my own personal space was really enjoyable. And to this day, I mean, I hadn't talked to him a little while, but to this day, he's still part of my life. So therapy is very necessary if you are open to receiving what it's.
Yeah, because if you just go and sit and do what you did at first, it's like, okay, I'm healed.
Yeah, you got to be open.
Yeah, you got to be open to it.
What it's going to provide. And a lot of times, if they're not there to fix you, they're just there to listen, to help you through. Like, this is no different than a really good friend that'll be able to give you a different perspective. Like, hey, you might not think of it this way. And it has changed the way that because I was pro no therapy. Like, what is therapy? Who needs therapy? It's point of therapy. And now,
I mean, but the family you come from, I just feel like there are certain things that happen in life where you need to get you a session. You lose your child, you lose your sibling, you know, a loved one, you go through something traumatic, like, go get you a session. Like
no. And the fact that he's very faith oriented in his, you know, I didn't come to know that until after, you know, 4 or 5 months down the road, that like he really believed in Jesus, and it was just like this all happened for a reason. Like God placed him in my life for a reason. I found a guy that I can relate to. That
he has daughters, and
he's maybe 10-12 years older than me, so he has gone through some of the same things that I've gone through, and it's just like it was all a blessing from God that I was able to find him.
Yeah. And so I was already in therapy, but of course I say all the time, you know, I talk about my life coach, Coach Jess, and how I really appreciate her. And she took me up another level. So it's all about learning and stretching yourself. Let's say 2-3 years ago, I would not have imagined being here on YouTube. Like, I was the person that watched YouTube, not on here. Both of us, like, this is something that we've had to grow through to actually come on here and, you know, just
Yeah, I'm a hermit. I'm gonna be by myself.
Man.
It's hard to open up for me because I'm comfortable in being with myself. I'm comfortable and maybe looking at it, that's a problem.
Yeah, we gotta work on it. But I do appreciate you for doing these videos with me because I know it's not something easy for you to do.
And it's, I guess maybe if you see me or you be like, I just don't get that from you because I can associate with anybody. I can, you know, we can talk and I can get along with anybody. But my nature has always been to dim my light and not shine it. So.
Yeah. So I think we're getting to the end here. Like, I think we covered a lot. And the truth is, we barely scratched the surface of this. Like, it's just been so much that we are continuing to go through. So we just wanted to get started here.
Yeah, we can maybe do another video about diving truly into the faith-based part of this.
Yeah, in our new season, our new transformation season. So we're just beginning and we're nowhere near perfect. We feel like we're in our beginning season for so much. Like, we've gone through a lot, we've learned a lot, and we just know that there are going to be good things ahead because we have really been, we've told y'all before about the warfare, just straight up, just washer, dryer, just.
I don't get that reference.
What'd you say? I'm probably not using it right. I like to say it, but yeah, like we go through things, but we have been faithful and consistent. I thank God for Favorite Stationery. Like, it helps me with my creativity and just, you know, having peace. Because at one point I was like really an anxious person, like, and kind of understandably so for everything that has recently happened. Just a mess though, like thinking like, okay, if one more thing goes wrong. But the truth is, with God, I can handle anything. And so
because of God,
because
of God, you'll be able to push through.
Yeah.
You're still here.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, he done something right.
Yeah. And it's always something to be grateful for. We get in our feelings too often because, it didn't go the way that we wanted it to. And it's like, come on up out of that. Because come on up out of that and just be grateful for the good things. And there's always something good to pull out of this life every day.
Every day.
Okay. So I think that's it. We're definitely going to come back and probably talk about the financial part because that's a whole.
And the spiritual part.
Okay.
The true spiritual. Get into because we didn't really dive into the faith-based part of, like, you know, we hinted at it. So.
Okay. Yeah. So we're going to try to be back soon. Y'all know us. Y'all got to get us when we get on here. But yeah. So thank you for doing this with me. I love you.
Love you too.
All right. And I'll see you next time right here. Favorite Stationery. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Like, share, and subscribe.